Hello everyone, and welcome to our next lecture on business letters. Now in this lecture, we will learn the different parts of a letter as well as the format of a business letter. So let's begin. So in the format of a business letter, these are the particular elements that you must have in the letter and in this particular order. So you start off with the sender's name and address, which is your name and address, followed by the date. Then you have the recipient's name and address, the greetings and salutation, the subject, which is underlined. Then comes the body of the letter, which is the content, then followed by a complimentary close and the signature. And I will go through each of these in detail with examples. So here is a sample of a business letter according to the fully blocked format. Now what this means I'll explain later, but this is the format without a letterhead. The letterhead meaning the name of your company and the logo right at the top that is pre-printed on the letter sheets. So this one is without a letterhead and this is with a letterhead. Okay, so what do I mean by fully blocked format? So the fully blocked style is now the most widely used method of display for all business documents. So that is why we are teaching you this particular method. Now, how does it look like? Well, every paragraph is aligned left, which means there are no more indentations, where you have a space when you write a new paragraph. No more of those, and all your paragraphs start at the far left. You have one-line spaces between the paragraphs, and it uses open punctuation. I will explain that in a little bit. Now, what I want to point out here, fully blocked means everything starts from the left. That's it. Okay, now it also uses open punctuation most of the time. Now, what do we mean by open punctuation? So we have a few more rules now. Now, open punctuation means there is an absence of commas and full stops in certain parts of the letter. Now, you need commas and full stops when you're writing in the body part of the letter, but in everything else, you don't need commas and full stops anymore. Okay, so that means you only use the punctuation for grammatical sense, but in everything else, you don't have it. So specifically, it involves the dates, names, addresses, and the salutation and complimentary close. So here are some examples. Now, open punctuation for dates, meaning you write 8 April 2011. No comma, no full stop, no ST or no TH, no second with ND, no third with RD, none of those. Just plain and simple, 8 April 2011. That's it. Right? What about names? Well, for names, when you have words like these titles, Mr. No full stop, Miss no full stop, and after these names there is no comma either. So there are no full stops, no commas whatsoever. What about in addresses? So for example, you have the name, the position, and the address, okay, of the company. Notice that there are no commas at the end of them. Now, when we learned in school, we learned that you should put a comma at the end of every line, but no, not in the open punctuation, fully blocked format. So from now on, whatever we learned in high school, in secondary school, remove it. This is the new format, no commas at all. Also notice that there are no full stops after abbreviations, all those short forms like this, Sendirian Berhad. Notice no full stop at all. It looks weird, kind of, but yeah, this is the format. So I do not want to see any full stops after these short forms. The rest of it has to be in complete full spelling. Right, open punctuation for salutations and your closing. So when you do your salutation, you say, oh, dear Miss Fan, no comma. Okay, and in your closing, you say, yours sincerely, no comma. Right? And always, if possible, use the second name or the surname, right? Because it is more formal. Now, in the sender's name and address, okay, now what is it actually? So in most business situations, you have your company's pre-printed letterhead, like I mentioned earlier, but when you write for tests or tasks, you're writing on a blank paper, then you need to write out the address in this particular order. Your name, position, the company, and the address. So here's an example. You have your name, you have your position, notice, no commas, your company, for example, Inti International University, Jalan BBN 12/1. Okay, notice it's the number, if you have it, and the road in this line. The next line should be your neighborhood or the taman, right? Followed by postcode first, and then the city, and finally with the state. So if you're missing any one of these, then your address is incomplete. So please be careful, right? These are examples in the letters, where the pre-printed letterhead and sender's address right over here. Now for the date is below the sender's address. Make sure that there's space in between. The line is flushed right to the left, alright, not in the middle. Do not abbreviate the month. Okay, what does it mean? You don't have Feb like this, okay, no short forms. There's no ND, ST, RD, TH, and with the day numbers. So avoid this. So clean and clear, 10 December 2015. Notice that it's also not in capital letters, just normal spelling. There's an example. And for your recipient's name and address, the same thing, but this time it's below the date. Okay? And also right to the left. So the same thing, you have your name, the position, the company, and the address. No commas, no full stops according to the order we mentioned earlier. Examples over here. Okay, greetings and salutation. Now always use the name of the individual if you know it. And if you do use it, use the surname at all times. So for example, you're writing to Amy Chong. Okay, you write, Dear Amy, if she is a very personal friend or close colleague. Otherwise, do not use the first name. Use the surname and you will never go wrong. Okay, so dear Mrs. Chong, if she's married. Dear Miss Chong, M-I-S-S, complete if she's not married. Dear Miss M.S. Chong, if you don't know whether she's married or not married. Okay, Dear Dr. Chong, if there's a title. Dear Sir or Madam, if you don't know the name of the person. Okay, so Dear Sir or Madam in full, if you don't know the name of the person. Or to whom it may concern, if you don't know who the person is and you don't know who the person responsible for receiving this letter would be. So you use to whom it may concern. Alright, so please remember this. Examples. And the subject. Okay, for the subject, it has to be underlined. Again, following the left margin. Do not use words like regarding, or subject, No, just straight away the topic, your subject, underlined. Okay, it briefly identifies the topic of the letter. Some of the letters will have model names like this, or if you want to give a reference number for it to be clear and specific. And notice that also is in sentence case, where the first letter of the word is capitalized. Okay, first letter of the word is capitalized. Supply of raincoats and umbrellas. That's your subject. Clear and specific. Here I would mark this as wrong because you need to make this sentence case. No such thing as the word subject here. Content, well, this is the body and the most important part of the letter, right? The type of the letter you're writing determines what goes inside the letter. So it depends on why you're writing the letter. But with any piece of writing, you should have the opening, the introduction, you should have the body paragraphs and the conclusion. Organize your information. Try to put new paragraphs in whenever possible. As long as it's a slightly different topic, put it in a new paragraph because it makes it much easier to read. Use appropriate language and tone. So in the content, you have the introduction where you want to present what you're going to talk about, or you want to say in reference to something else or previous correspondence, to refer back to previous letters. Okay, the main body where you give the information that you want. Keep the paragraphs short. Ask clearly for certain actions. This is a section where you tell them what you actually want these people to do for you. And then you close being pleasant and positive. Alright, for more examples, you can refer to the slides. Here I want to point out to you that notice everything is flushed left. Okay, so even though there are new paragraphs, you don't have space for the first line of the new paragraph. All starts on the left. Okay, right. Then you have your complimentary close. Alright, if you have named the recipient, then you say yours sincerely. So you actually know the name, you use yours sincerely. If you don't know the name of the recipient, put yours faithfully. But this one I'm not that particular about because most letters still use yours sincerely as the more formal complimentary close. Others you have respectfully yours or sincerely. Now sincerely is a little less formal. Okay, so you can never go wrong with yours sincerely. So follow this one, right? And here are some examples, right? Here I just wanted to point out that sometimes in a letter you want to enclose or attach certain things. If that is the case, put in enclosed or ENC colon and then put in what are the documents that you've attached with the letter, so that it's clear for the reader that you have attached something with this particular letter. Finally, you have your signature. So following the closing after yours sincerely and you have yours, then you have your signature and your name and your title. Okay, so you have yours sincerely, no comma, your signature, your name in capital letters, please, name in capital letters, and your position. Okay, you may also want to include maybe the name of your company. So yeah, that's about it. We're going to have a little quiz later in class for you to choose which one is the correct format. So make sure you know which is which. You may want to review this video and go through it again in order to make sure that you really know the format of a business letter. So yeah, thank you and I'll see you in class. Bye!